He called Camilla, the new queen and the love of his father's life, dangerous and a villain. "I would like to apologize on behalf of the British press because he is an unbelievable village idiot, and I think it's all our fault." Camilla, wounded by Harry's words, stands as a symbol of the dangerous games of betrayal. She was branded dangerous, but the real danger lies in Harry's own disloyalty. Camilla Parker Bowles, in a well-sourced piece in the Sunday Times, is apparently very hurt by all the things that Harry wrote about her in the book, saying that she was dangerous and had to rehabilitate her image, blah blah blah, wicked stepmother. I don't blame Camilla, do you? I just think for this guy to have the brass neck to now roll up at the coronation of the head of an institution he has spent the last 2 or 3 years absolutely burying, calling a bunch of tea sippers racists, is outrageous. Harry and Meghan's accusations have sown seeds of division, the poison spreading through the very veins of the monarchy, leaving a legacy of suspicion and ruin. For Camilla, who is also going to be crowned, of course, along with Charles, to see him coming in after calling her the wicked, dangerous stepmother is disgraceful. Harry and Meghan's claims about supposed racists in the royal family have left a predictable and poisonous legacy for the last few years. We live in an age where grievances are given the benefit of the doubt, where the establishment is toxic by default, and where my truth apparently means more than the truth. They knew the power their words would hold, and many people across the world took their words at face value. The royal family is under siege. Sickness grips the king, and Princess Catherine heals from surgery, yet Harry's barbs continue to tear at the throne. The royal family is besieged right now. Our king has cancer, and Catherine is recovering from serious abdominal surgery, which will keep her away from public duties until at least Easter. The monarchy is unquestionably still finding its footing after the passing of the late queen. Through every crisis, one man has stood firm against the barrage, resolutely maintaining a pretty special gift for making everything all about him. Harry claims illness will unite them, but his prickly nature only deepens the chasm, as if he's forgotten that family is more than blood, it's loyalty. Even in a small softball interview with American Breakfast Television, Harry is prickly and defensive, and with good reason. "Illness will bring us back together," he says, before immediately clarifying that he's staying on the opposite side of the world because he actually has plenty of his own things to be getting on with. But rest assured, loyal subjects, he'll still pop in when he feels like it if he can. Later in the same interview, Harry makes a stunning admission. He's not considering becoming an American citizen. Meghan's accusations of racism strike like a dagger, but who is truly to blame the shadowy figures of the royal family or the echo of her own bitterness? It's not ambiguous. That is Meghan Markle accusing a member of the royal family of being racist, judging someone according to the color of their skin and how brown they are. There's no room for thinking it's anything else. Now, the impact of that claim was extraordinary. The claims were reported breathlessly across the world. Tens of millions, hundreds of millions were left with the unavoidable impression that Britain is a racist country with racists at the heart of our royal family. I'd say that being a senior member of the British royal family, whose only remaining relevance comes from monetizing his ever-weakening royal links, is a pretty obvious barrier. Whether the U.S. authorities would even consider making Harry a citizen after he gloated about his drug use in his memoir Spare is another issue. Just hours after revealing that he might abandon Britain for good, Harry began his briefings all over again, this time making it known that heroically he's prepared to don his ginger cape and soar back to Britain to fulfill some of the ailing king's duties while he's treated. In a typically irritating, lengthy missive, Harry has offered a hybrid working model, a regal equivalent of meeting on Zoom in your underpants. All very valiant, Harry, but there's one little problem. Nobody wants you back. 4 years ago, Harry and Meghan abandoned the royal family and the monarchy, resigning from their royal duties to embark on a new life in California. The late Queen was crystal clear at the time: you cannot be half in, half out. If you go, you're gone for good. It seems that the king himself has agreed with that. Harry jetted into the UK immediately after hearing his father's cancer diagnosis. No one can criticize him for that. But he might have been surprised at the less than hearty reception. The king made Harry stay in a hotel. He was allowed just one hasty 30-minute meeting at Clarence House, not at Sandringham, where the king flew off on his helicopter to recuperate. They were kind of worried that they wouldn't get rid of Harry. The king, a man of 75 battling illness while the world speculates wildly, circling like vultures waiting for a kingdom to fall, is also a little bit worried that someone who has committed all the private thoughts of his family to books, podcasts, and television interviews in a scathing, derogatory manner might just do it all over again. They also knew that the king is a 75-year-old man being treated for a very serious illness and needs time to rest. He didn't need to be part of the ongoing Sussex psychodrama. Compare and contrast the dignified behavior of Prince William, who has been taking care of his wife and only just returned to public duties last night. He attended the BAFTA and glided around the place with the gravitas and decorum that he always does. No vainglorious narcissism, no attention-seeking, no self-pity. Of course, there was no meeting at all last week between Harry and his brother. Harry's supporters, apparently some of them somewhere, felt that was spiteful. Really, they must have had the recall skills of a goldfish or President Biden. Don't forget that this time last year, the royals were still reeling from Harry and Meghan's Netflix show, which condemned Britain and the monarchy as irredeemably racist and tarnished the reputations of their closest family members. Harry went on to mock his own brother in that show and smeared his own father, the king, as a liar. The monarchy was directly accused of destroying two of its own to protect itself. Even the late Queen was appallingly presented as a dupe, manipulated by sinister courtiers in a dark plot to smear the poor Sussexes. As if that 6-hour onslaught of fantasy and sedition wasn't enough, along came the memoir. Across 416 pages of pure poison, the Prince of Privacy revealed toe-curling details about excruciating and deeply personal disputes with his family, including his brother. I hope all those people are having severe thoughts or buyer's remorse about believing what Meghan Markle and Prince Harry said. I don't need to, because that day I said I didn't believe a word of it, and I had to leave my job because I didn't believe them, even though I think they were lying. The frenzy grows. Who are the so-called racist royals? It's a game of whispers, but the damage was done long before the truth was revealed. For 2.5 years, there's been frenzy and speculation about who these supposedly racist royals are. Just about every single member of the royal household has been implicated in the rumors at some point, and that surely isn't fair, is it? Just guilt by collective association, especially if you believe, as I do, that the claims are completely and utterly baseless. That speculation reached fever pitch again this week because of this weaselly lickspittle Omid Scobie. He's the compliant journalist of the Sussexes. He's always the first to publish their Soviet-style official statements and defend their indefensible. He's like that guy comical Ali, do you remember him? Who fronted up for Saddam Hussein in Iraq and would literally say we've got him on the run as the Americans were coming over his head. Well, Meghan Markle famously denied briefing Scobie for his last book, Finding Freedom, but then she was forced a few months after it came out to apologize in court and admit that actually she had. She briefed one of her aides to go and tell Scobie all the dirty laundry. So what emerged? The book contained new details on those race accusations. Well, let's just say I've made my own assumptions about where Scobie could have gotten that information from, because it wasn't King Charles, so that only leaves the other person on the end of that correspondence. Meghan Markle, or maybe Harry, her husband, or maybe one of their mutual friends. Scobie keeps boasting he knows the names of the accused royals but couldn't use them for legal reasons. That's in the English version of his book. Then, as everybody now knows, the names suddenly appeared in a Dutch translation of the book, and by appear, I mean they were sent to journalists who couldn't believe what they were reading. They went into bookstores where people could buy it. Piers Morgan names the names, unafraid to drag the royal family into the spotlight while the world holds its breath, craving scandal more than truth. Last night, I decided this was all ridiculous, and it was time to name the two royals implicated in those racism claims. They are, as I said last night, King Charles, Prince Charles as he was then, and Catherine, Princess of Wales. Charles is not a racist, it's the opposite. He was the first to employ Black and Asian people in royal roles. And Catherine was more than happy to welcome a woman of mixed race into the family, and she has always championed diversity. No, this has nothing to do with race or racism, but it's about their behavior, and now they have the public's sympathy and admiration. Let's go back to 2016. Let's say you were to bump into Harry on the street, and he said he was about to marry a mixed-race actress. You'd think that was fabulous, wouldn't you? That's something that was welcomed into the family, but then something changed. All of a sudden, a prince of the realm found himself at the epicenter of a 21st century race row. Meghan is a shrewd operator, and I think she might have been baiting him from the beginning. That's the reality check that Meghan Markle doesn't want to see. Harry is a man steeped in royal tradition. He had to break those very ties to embrace a modern marriage. As a matter of fact, it was amazing to see those two royals named last night. Charles and Catherine are now receiving public sympathy in a way that Harry could never have imagined. They are being seen as the wronged ones by the public, while he has tarnished his family's name. The narrative is collapsing around the Sussexes. The unraveling is palpable. Amidst the scandals and claims, the monarchy's resilience is tested, yet they remain. The king may face illness, but the throne stands firm against those who seek to tear it apart. The monarchy endures, rooted in centuries of tradition, while the tale of Harry and Meghan becomes just another chapter in the history of royal turbulence, a testament to the enduring spirit. Family that refuses to be defined by scandal